Hey guys, it's Neil again from Heart of Texas Armory, and today I want to bring you guys a new discussion video on this upcoming new release from Phoibos, and this is going to be a GMT watch. So I'm pretty excited about this, and it's going to be a Quartz GMT. So most of you guys are probably familiar with Phoibos. They're an up-and-coming kind of micro brand, although they're getting big enough now where they're almost not a micro brand. They've released quite a few watches. I've taken a look at most of their releases, been pretty impressed with them for the most part. You know, they have good quality control, really cool designs now that they're coming out with some unique designs here. So I've been pretty impressed with Phoibos from the very beginning. And one of the first videos I ever did, if it may have been the first video on my channel, was one of the Phoibos Quartz dive watches. I still have that watch. I still love it. I wear it quite often here at the shop. It's one of my go-to kind of beater watches, I guess a lot of people say. So I use it here at the shop when I'm working my CNC machine, doing some other stuff where I don't want to bang up some of my nicer watches. So I've really been impressed with that, and that is a Quartz. Now this GMT they're going to be coming out is also going to be a Quartz. So I'm personally pretty excited about that. I love Quartz watches. To me, I love the accuracy, the simplicity, just grab and go. Big fan of them. So here I'm at phoiboswatch.com. You can always come here and check out all their watches that they have available. Here under shop, you can see the collection. And then typically they have a project watch, and this is probably where the GMT will wind up here very shortly. Currently there's nothing there, but I would assume this watch will show up here very soon because the GMT watch is going to be released next month. Right now we're in October 2019. This GMT is going to be released apparently sometime in November 2019, so coming up pretty soon. And they will probably also update their Instagram page, which is at Phoibos Watch, and they'll probably have some pictures here, of course, of prototypes, maybe the actual production models, so be on the lookout for those here at their Instagram. But no more rambling here. Let's go ahead and jump right into this new watch. So let me bring it up here. There's a look at the new GMT Quartz watch from Phoibos. So pretty cool looking watch, I have to admit. Reminds me a lot of the Oris GMT, so I'll have a picture of that pop up right now, particularly looking at that bezel design. Very similar. But this one here from Phoibos, this is going to be a Quartz GMT like I mentioned. So let's jump right into these specs. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. Very cool looking watch. Here is your dimensions: 41 millimeter case diameter, 47 lug to lug. Great specs there. I love 41 millimeter diameter watches. That's one of my favorites. Anything between 40 and 42 is a sweet spot for most of us. So spec wise on the dimensions of the case, excellent. We do have a 20 millimeter lug width here for straps. Looks like it's going to come on a tropical rubber strap here, which is going to be great for most activities. You might use a GMT watch like this traveling, you know, taking it to the pool, swimming with it, go snorkeling. So rubber strap, that's really cool. The case thickness here is also surprisingly thin. Look at this. Let me zoom in a little bit here, guys. So 10.5 millimeters only from the case back. If you're looking here at their dimensions, if they're accurate, case back to the top of the double domed sapphire crystal, only 10.5 millimeters. That's impressive. So that's got me really excited. So the dimensions here are quite excellent in my opinion. Here's a look at the crown. So you got a 5.5 millimeter crown. You have two of them. So the bottom one most likely will operate your movement. This top one here looks like it's going to operate a rotating internal bezel here. So this will be inside the sapphire crystal. You probably unscrew that. Well, you're going to have to unscrew it because it's got 300 meters water resistance. Unscrew it, and that will allow you to rotate the bezel in both directions. So I don't know if I'm a fan of that. Honestly, I would have preferred a unidirectional or bidirectional, would even be in better bezel. It could be in 60 clicks. It could be in 24 clicks to match up with this bezel, but I would have probably preferred just a standard bi-directional bezel for this, but this is going to have that internal rotating bezel, which they work really good. It's just a little more inconvenient to operate because you have to obviously unscrew this crown to rotate the GMT function. But the good thing is once you lock that back down, your GMT bezel is not going to move anymore. It's going to be locked down until you rotate it again manually. Manual or the movement here, we're looking at a Swiss Ronda 515 24-hour GMT movement. So pretty standard entry level, maybe mid-range Quartz GMT here. So it's going to be accurate, it's going to be reliable, get good battery life on it, and it's well thought out. It's a well thought of movement. There's quite a few watches out there that use this movement. I think the Glycine Airman, I believe, uses that movement. There's other Quartz GMTs that use it. So solid choice. Me, I love Quartz movements. I love the simplicity of them. I know some of you guys probably would have much preferred this watch to be a automatic, but this is a Quartz, so it is what it is here. Here's a look at that double domed sapphire. So this will be sapphire. The bezel here is going to be polished. The rest of the watch is going to have a matte finish. They're calling it sandblast. I'm assuming it's going to be matte. So should be pretty nice. The crowns will also be polished. So polished bezel, matte finish, the rest of the watch, including the case back. Here is a look at the, oh, one more thing here. I forgot to mention the lume. So this is BGW9 lume. So Phoibos does excellent job on looms. So this is going to be a really nice watch to look at in the dark, because I'm assuming they're going to probably put 15 plus layers of BGW9 on this watch. So it's gonna really glow. The bezel insert is also loomed. You can see BGW9, which is cool. The dial is well thought out. All applied indices here, excellent. Pretty standard look to it. You got the Phoibos logo there. GMT in red, which is a nice touch. 300 meters of water resistant, which is awesome. Framed date window here, and we got this kind of interesting printed chapter ring here, which is kind of unique. The one thing I will mention about the date window here, I probably would have preferred it to be black to kind of blend in. Kind of stands out with that white, but it does look nice, and it is framed like I mentioned. The hands here are pretty standard. These look like they're pulled from the Wave Master. So not my favorite hand style or handset style, but it's gonna work just fine. It looks well enough. You can see the GMT hand here is framed in red to make it stand out. Now that 515 Ronda movement, the GMT movement here, is not a true GMT, so you don't get the 1 hour increment adjustment like a true GMT movement. This one here is going to be, you control this hand just like you would with a normal hour hand, so you can adjust it just however you want. Most people prefer the true GMT adjustment, but this one is just a standard adjustment. Keep that in mind. Let me zoom in here on the case back, which is kind of a strange thing here. You can see they've got the GMT city locations, time zones, and all that etched into the back of the case back, which looks cool, but I don't know how this is not going to be very functional. So kind of an odd choice. So you're gonna have to basically set your GMT hand to these by flipping the watch over multiple times to get it set correctly, which is kind of inconvenient. So I'm not a big fan of that, but it does look cool. So you know, I can't fault it too much, but I mean, if you put that on the front here on the dial, it's going to be too cluttered. So they put it on the back. You know, I understand why they did it, but it's not going to be very useful. The buckle here is going to be etched with the Phoibos logo, pretty standard stuff, and you can see it does say it's a black tropical rubber strap. So overall, I'm a pretty big fan of this watch. It looks really cool. I will be having one of these sent to my channel so I can take a look at it and review it, and I'll probably be sending that watch out to some of the other YouTube channels so they can take a look at it. So I will be organizing a watch tour for this timepiece. When it arrives here, I'll take a look at it, review it, and then send it out to some of the other channels. So be on the lookout for that. But I will mention, you know, I don't know if I'm a big fan of that crown like that. You know, that's one thing that I'm a little disappointed. You know, having that internal rotating bezel, I would have preferred, like I mentioned, the bi-directional bezel. But overall looks pretty impressive. I'm pretty excited about it. The spec wise here, your amazing specs. This is going to be releasing in November next month here, so pretty soon it's coming out. Oh, price point too. Price point is going to be pretty affordable. I haven't heard official confirmation from Phoibos, but I've heard rumors it's going to be right around $200. So probably starting at $200, but you might catch it on sale for $180, which not a bad price for these specs. So I'll mention the price, around $200. And then one more thing here, I want to show you the color variants here. So here are the 4 variants that they've released so far. So there's the one we looked at before, the black version. We're going to have a red gradient version, which looks nice. We have a green kind of gradient version. You can see, so black on the out, just like on here, and then fade to green, fade to red on there. And then we have the blue gradient. So pretty cool color combinations here, although I think it would have been really cool to get one that has a Coke style bezel or a Pepsi bezel. Maybe in the future they can come out with a couple more models that have the Coke or Pepsi bezel color combination, because that's kind of standard for GMTs. But overall, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Be on the lookout for this watch soon. It's going to be released next month. I will have one for review, so I'll have it on my channel as soon as I get it. I'll wear it for a week, do a review, so be on the lookout. But overall, I'm pretty excited. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. Let me know what you think of this new GMT. Have any suggestions or comments for Phoibos, leave them down below in the comment section. Guys, I appreciate you watching this video with me, and take care. I'll catch you on the next one.